Good morning, everybody. My name is Petra, and I am with Sweat and Glow. I travel all the time, and I am a very active person. I work out, I do cardio, and I do a lot of yoga. When I find myself on the road, which is almost all the time, I usually bring with me a foam roller, Cork roller exactly, which helps me to stay fit, because with this roller I can do my yoga, I can get my fitness routine, I can do a whole body workout. I wanted to show you this roller so I can explain to you why I choose this one versus some other roller. When you get into rolling, what is very important is that you select a roller of a correct density. So some rollers are super, super soft, and some rollers are super, super hard. What you basically need the roller for in terms of therapeutic effects is to break down fascia and get a release for your body that works so hard for us every day. And so for that purpose, 42 Birds roller, the Cork roller I'm holding in my hands, is my favorite because it's not too soft and it's very dense, and it has these beautiful, wonderful edges that can break down all of the wear and tear that I create in my body. So basically, when I travel and I can bring a lot of bags because TSA and airlines lose them all the time, I will only bring my roller. I don't worry about blocks or any other props, and I get my entire exercise in. So with that being said, let me show you what my routine is if I only have 30 minutes to spare to make sure that I take care of my body well. So let's begin. Usually, first, I set my intention for my exercise and for my yoga practice. I like to start in lotus. I like to put my hands down. I like to center. I like to close my eyes, and I like to think about who or what I want to dedicate my practice to. And that's sort of a person or a thing or a place or animal or principle that I keep in my heart for this second. So I close my eyes, I'm thinking about that person, and now I'm gonna slow my breathing and take deep breath in through the nose and breath out. And so we do about 10 breaths. Now I feel centered, so I will begin. I like to start feeling my body and open with the child's pose. So I put my arms forward as far as they can go, and I start stretching my body. I move my hips from side to side, gentle movements, trying to flatten my back on this wonderful Cork yoga mat. And I'm trying to reach as far as I can and feel the stretching and push my hips down and touch the glutes almost to my feet and just enjoy this moment and get very, very gentle movements. And now the body is starting to wake up. And so then I come to a kneeling position where I have my knees under my hips, which is very important, 90-degree angle. And now I have my arms underneath my shoulders. And I start doing a little bit of cat-cow, so that my spine wakes up. And this is really a diagnostic tool. Where is my spine today? Where am I feeling any sort of tension, tightness? Who am I today? Because every day when you wake up, part of it is, what did you eat last night? What did you do last night? Did you get enough sleep? What did you drink? And so you need to first get in touch with your body. Now that I sort of feel like I have some tightness in my shoulders, my legs feel pretty good, so I will now try my first downward dog of the day. And I will just paddle my feet out and get gentle, gentle motion in. And same thing, just really, really stretch and feel your muscles. And now that we have realized what kind of range of motion and what kind of day we have, we can stretch and then we can raise our right leg up. And now we can bend our right leg and get a little bit of a motion. We can start doing leg circles in one direction or foot circles, and then foot circles in another direction. And suddenly this right leg is waking up. Now we will step to a lunge and still sort of trying to find space in our body. Stretch. How do I feel today? What am I going to do? Am I going to have a great day? And now we can rise up a little bit, stretch, clasp your hands. How is that spine doing? Is it waking up? I think so. So now we can look to the side and get a little bit of a twist and a rotation going. And let's bring our hands back and step our right foot back and do another downward dog. Once you do the right side, you should feel a noticeable difference from your left side. So paddle your legs out again, your feet, and now extend your left leg up, hold it. Get a really good stretch and bend your left knee. Feel stretch. Start doing circles with your ankle and your foot in one direction. And then let's do circles in the other direction. Ooh, that feels good. And now let's step our foot through to a lunge. And always, always be mindful of your alignment. So you always want to have a 90-degree angle here. Knee should never be in front. And now slowly rise up. Enjoy the beautiful day. Clasp your hands, stretch your spine. You're only as old as your spine feels. So always, always be mindful of your spine. And now let's do a little bit of a side twist again. Balancing. And just breathe. Always come back to your mat and breathe. Because breath is basically the fuel that we need for our life. And you can always find the present moment if you breathe. So slow down your breathing. Anytime you have any issues in life, just slow down your breathing and return to your yoga mat. And now we can step our leg back and do another downward dog. And wow, both sides feel the same. Before they didn't. So really get a good stretch in. Wow, that feels good. And now Let's shift to a plank pose. Plank pose is amazing because it really tones your body, and it looks pretty boring, but there is a technique to it. You should engage your core as much as you can, and you should have your hands right underneath your shoulders, and your head should be parallel so that your spine is straight. And you can try a plank challenge. That's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That's a big workout. And now let's lower ourselves to chaturanga slowly. And we come up to upward dog. And just keep noticing where your body is at today. Where do you feel tension? Where do you feel release? And now let's go back to downward dog. The reason why we're analyzing how our body feels is because we have our roller that can take care of the problem areas later. Okay, so now let's try pigeon pose. So bring your leg forward. Lower yourself, always mindful of your alignment. And come down. And just feel a wonderful hip opener. And keep coming back to that intention you set, the person you're dedicating your practice to, the principle, the moment, the animal, whatever makes you happy, and hold this wonderful stretch. Now step your leg back, and let's return to our downward dog. And once again, enjoy the gentle stretch, paddle your feet. And let's do pigeon on our left side. When you do this, take mental notes whether your body feels the same or different on your left and right side. We all carry our attention in different parts of our bodies because our life is very stressful. And so we all have our problem areas. For me, when I do this, I always compile my list. Where am I going to focus my rolling? Because some of the areas of my body need a lot more love than the others. And for me, definitely, the left side is an issue, so I know that I'm gonna take some bonus time on my left side. And now let's come back to our downward dog. Do a good stretch. And now we can hop to the front of the mat. Do a half bend. Bring our hands to our chest. Reach up. Open our arms, do a little gentle back bend. Come back. Do a chair pose. Hands to your chest. Forward bend. And plank pose. Lower yourself down to chaturanga. Upward dog. And back to downward dog. Now that we have gotten an idea of what's the range of our motion, we can start incorporating our wonderful roller, because planks, they're a little boring. So let's try some planks with our roller. So the roller adds a challenge because it rolls, And so suddenly, if you do a plank and you hold a plank on a roller, it becomes a lot more challenging. As you can see, my arms are moving a little bit, but I still my body by engaging the core. From here, I will come to child's pose, which is like the Tylenol for yoga, really. And now I will roll the roller to me. And so I will also get slight little bit of gentle rolling in the beginning of my practice. And I get to play with this cool tool. And I come up to seated position. And now I can roll it back out. This is a wonderful routine that looks so simple, but try to do it. You really have to engage your core so it makes sense. And now come forward, and let's roll back. And I'm rounding my back like a cat, and rolling. And now I will extend. Sometimes you can also use the roller as a block if you need it to. So next time I will come up to my sand salutation. I will show you how you would do that. So we go back to downward dog. We hop up front. And we want to come up. And now we can basically do the roller to make sure that our back is flat. Because sometimes for a lot of people, it's very hard to keep your back flat. Even I struggle with it, and I've been doing yoga every day for like 20 years. And so this is a wonderful, beautiful tool, how to stretch your back. So now that we spend a little bit of time on the floor, we can move over to a more standing balancing series with also a little bit of more of a fitness component. So it's not just going to be gentle, breathy yoga, but it's going to be a little bit of fitness. So the way I usually start is I like to use the roller, and I like to do a little bit of side bending. So I extend my arms up, and now I move side to side. Oh, and when I go through the middle, I extend. And when I go to the side, and I just see how much motion does my spine have today. And you do this a couple of times. It's almost like fanning with a fan when it's too hot. And now, stop in the middle. Grab your roller, lift up, extend, push your right hip to the side, and reach to the left. And engage your core, engage your muscles. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, and come back to the center. Extend up. You're in the center. And now let's do the same thing to the side. So push your left hip to the side and reach to the right corner of the room. And engage your core, keep breathing, and return to center. Now, what I do with my roller, I want to wake up my spine into a back bend. I haven't really done that many back bends on the mat. So let me hold my roller, and let's start going into a back bend. Once you come back, lift up, elevate, straighten your spine, and let's do a gentle forward bend, very mindfully, ideally with legs engaged. Place the roller in front of you, about a hand away, and start gently walking your legs. Now, once your legs are walked, place your hands underneath your feet, step on them, and extend your legs, engage your thighs. Try to create basically a concrete slab from your legs and stretch. So you want to pull on your heels and you want to move your head as much down towards your feet as possible. Keep breathing. And try to basically have one leg very, very strong, engaged. And that's enough. Come up. Okay, next thing that I like to do is I like to use my roller, put it here, just in case, because it's helping me. And I use it as a centerpiece. And now I try to do standing head to knee pose. So I engage my left leg. I put my right leg on the roller. That helps me really keep my hips in the same line. I bend forward. And it's hard to do without a mirror. You kick out. You bring your arms down. And you can bring your head to your knee. Sorry, sometimes that happens because yoga is practice, not perfect, so don't get discouraged. I've been doing it for a long time. And now try on the other side. So the nice thing about the roller is that literally, look how aligned my hips are, and that's very hard to do. I engage my right leg, it gives me so much confidence. Now I bend forward. I find my sort of like hold on the mat. I kick out. I lock both knees. I bring my elbows down. And whoops, head could go to the knee. It didn't happen this time, but that's pretty advanced, guys. So if you can just do this, bend forward, kick out, and return on the roller, that's a pretty good variation. Okay, next pose that I really like to do is a dancer pose. And once again, I use the roller as a visual marker. And so I bring my right leg to the side, I grab my foot, and now I kick out, and I breathe, and I kick out, and I breathe, and I kick out. And I'm using the roller as a marker. Okay, change the other side. Same thing, so in your line of vision, left arm up, right arm up, really extend, because basically you want a straight line. And now kick. First kick, then stretch. First kick, then stretch. Keep coming down. And I'm keeping half an eye or one eye on the roller because it's such a wonderful tool. I don't even need a mirror. Okay, come down. Okay, next one that I like to do, again, this is my anchor, this roller. So I raise my arms up and I do T. Basically engage all of your core, engage all of your muscles on your legs. Look at the roller and try to be like a T. Whoops, come down. The other side, we always have to do both sides so we're not crooked or lopsided. Come down. And step back. All right. Now, the roller will help me get another stretch in my legs. So I come to the top of my mat and I step to the side. Now, this pose is pretty easy for me because I have long legs and the way my body is proportioned. So I will place my roller like this. But if you are stiffer and you don't do this every day, please place your roller like this. Okay, so now I grab my heels from the back. I engage all of my muscles on my legs, and I'm trying to pull my head down and land on the beautiful roller. And I'm just breathing, and I'm focusing on stretching my back, engaging all of my muscles on my legs. And the roller provides a resting place for my forehead. And now let's come up. Okay, another yoga sort of variation that I do is I place the roller and I lean on it. If you're left-handed, you can do a left hand. If you're right-handed, you can do a right hand. And I simply, how I did the T, I just try to stretch my leg, extend my leg, engage my core, and basically get as much stretch as possible. So engage these muscles, engage muscles on both legs, and hold it. It's a wonderful release, wonderful stretch. It also builds your muscles. Step back. Okay, the second side. This will be tricky for me because I am definitely right-handed. And so, once again, you want your leg as parallel as possible. Without mirrors, it's hard to see. And you use the roller as a tool. And stretch, engage, and come back. Now, what I sometimes do is when I hold my roller because it gives me a lot more stability, and then I practice my tree pose with the roller. So I bring my foot as high as possible, and now I hold my roller in front, and I just stretch. I try to have my knees parallel. I try to have my hips in the same line. I try to have my back and spine as straight as possible. I'm holding the roller like this, so I'm not grabbing it. And that's like a stabilizing point. And I focus on something in the distance. I imagine the place, the thing, the person who I who I dedicated my practice to and my intent. And I'm just sort of drifting away and holding. Okay. Now, because we did it on one side, we have to do it again on the other side. So you could also get set up like this, and then grab the roller. It's actually super hard. It doesn't look like it. And again, two knees in the same line, in one line. Weight on your heel. Ooh, I'm balancing because left side is my problem side, so I will give it one more shot. If you ever practice yoga and you fall out, that's okay. Because yoga is practice and not perfect, okay? My second shot means looks more promising. I'm balancing, 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 growing, extended. Perfect. One variation of this pose is also called toe stand pose, which is a little bit hard, and we can also use our roller as a tool, really, and as an aid, which is amazing. So then I do my tree on my right leg because that's what I started with, and now I lower myself to the floor, and I sit on the ankle, and I kind of try to place it in the middle of my pelvic bone. And this is very hard for me, so I use the roller to balance and hold myself up. Oh, sometimes you fall. And then try to come out as gracefully as possible. And we do have to finish the other side because we would be lopsided. So let's do it. Let's come down to the floor. And once again, so now I got my balance, kind of. Left is my problem side. I breathe, and I extend my spine. One day I won't need the roller, but right now I still do, as you can tell. All right, I come on up. And so by this point, we have sort of exercised our body. We found our problem areas, and so let's spend the rest of our times addressing that and rolling out our pains, our aches. So let's come to the floor. Let's lie in Savasana for a little bit. When you're in Savasana, I always look, because sometimes if I don't look, my legs go that way, my head goes some other way. So make sure that your spine is straight as possible on the floor. You can even close your eyes for a moment, drift away, slow down your breathing, and you're getting a break. This is basically like a reboot or reset on your computer. So now that we had enough of a sort of a time, we want to wiggle our feet, wake up a little bit, and make sure we do our proper cool down. And in this part, we can use our roller so much. So when I get started, I place my roller under my spine, and I just kind of lie down, and I move my arms. I start feeling, what does my spine feel? I noticed today that my left side was a problem again, so I have to focus on it a little bit more. But as you sort of get the roller really supporting your spine and you put all of your weight, sometimes you start feeling tingling going to your feet, tingling going to your hands, your toes, your fingers. And so that indicates to you that somewhere along the path there is a trigger point that's a little bit congested or perhaps some scar tissues. And so now we have to roll that out. It's a good idea also to raise your arms while you're in this position, stretch, and basically just make these small circles as you're cooling down. You could probably hear a click. That was click of my bone. So I definitely have some issues on my left side. And I do this, if I have time, I would do this like 10 times. If you don't have time, do it maybe like 5 times. So I've been sort of counting, so I do 2 more times. And now that I have a feel for my back, I place the roller under my kind of like almost skull at the end of my head, and I just do gentle movements back and forth, and that's such a wonderful relief. Once again, depending on the time, usually every little motion you do like 8 to 10 times is good. And if you can do maybe multiple sets, but definitely less than 8 to 10 is probably not even worth it. And so then we move down. I'm very methodical, and I like to have my spine perfectly aligned, because basically most of diseases really come from the spine, and they are connected to the central nervous system. And so you want to kind of open any kind of blockage that you would have. And so you just really take your time. This is like turtle marathon. This is not even human marathon. So you just slowly roll back and forth. And I always roll my way off the mat because I'm very tall. But that's why nice people are going to make a long mat for me. And so just slowly go all the way up, all the way down. And take it in, like take stock. What do you feel? Is there cracking? If there is cracking, why is there cracking? Did I have an injury? Or is it something new? Is it something I know about? Or is it something I don't know about? And so work your way all the way down the spine. And once you come down, then we can go all the way up and all the way down. Oops. So now we worked our way to the lower back / glute area. And I think all of us, or most of us, feel tension here, because I don't know any person who doesn't sit at least some part of the day in a job or at home playing video games or doing whatever they do. And so this definitely feels so good. It's very important to get the lower spine up into the glute area, really rolled out, again, like 8 to 10 times. Enjoy that feeling when you get the release. And normally I would roll first both legs, but I want to show you guys something. I want you to focus only on rolling one of your legs, because I want you to feel the difference. Just like when we started with our downward dog and like stretching one leg, the same thing happens with rolling. So you work your way down the leg, slowly, in rolling, patience, being in the present moment, thinking about something nice so that you get a release. And really rolling to me is like a reward. After hard yoga class, after hard fitness class, this is like getting a massage. So this is so amazing. And look, while I'm supporting myself with my hands, I'm actually getting quite a good workout for my arms and for my back. And so now I'm gonna move closer even. And look, my core is engaged, because my core is helping my arms support my body. So even though this looks like so peaceful and so innocent, it's a pretty good workout. It's just like when we were trying that plank pose, and I challenge you guys to hold it, I don't know, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, and now we go gently over the knee area. I usually just move the roller a little bit, because you just want to make sure the knee is usually a little bit tender, a little bit sensitive, so you want to give that extremely gentle love. And I spend a lot of time doing cardio, so this roller with the edges is basically fantastic for me, because as sore as this is right now, I know I'm breaking up the scar tissues, and if I didn't roll, I would probably get injured like every couple of months because I jump on my feet every single day for an hour. It's a lot. And if you feel like you're super tight somewhere, take a little bit extra time there. I always support my body. I just really, really like it because then I feel, besides my reward, I'm also working out. And I'm working my way all the way down the foot, towards the foot. And of course, the most rewarding part is rolling out your feet, especially with this roller with the edges, because I forgot how many, but I know all of the nerve endings basically end in your foot. And that's why that's such an important body part to keep really healthy and happy. And so now that feels so good. And make sure you roll it all the way through the ball of the foot to the toes and all the way back to your ankle and all the way to the front and all the way back. And again, everything like 8 to 10 times. That feels so good. And now this is like a science experiment. I know that my left leg feels completely different from my right leg. Can you guys see the distance? Can you see how much longer my left leg is? And I swear I have more or less the same length of legs. I'm not usually limping to one side. This is how much the rolling has extended my leg, because basically rolling is gentle stretching. So now I'm like almost an inch shorter, so that's why I have to go back to the other side and basically use the same technique for my right leg. So we start at the glute and we go on the back of our leg, slowly, slowly. And we move closer to the knee. And remember, the knee area is super gentle. Super, super gently roll because there's a lot of stuff in there, lots going on. So you don't want to like jam up your knee. And now let's roll down. Calves. Oh la la. They are challenging, but I can do it because I want my legs at the end of the science experiment to be the same length. So you guys can see the value of rolling. Okay, now I'm working my way all the way down to the ankle, and I go with my feet. Oh, this is wonderful. So great. All right. You want to see the surprise if my legs are the same length? Let's see. I'm scared. Same or different? I think they look the same. So basically, that's what you do with your legs at the end.